Hey now, cats, we're back again on the Balls and Xtina Show, and I'm going to blow my fucking brains out.
No, you're not.
The end. We're done.
No, you're not.
I'm kidding. Actually, if you've never tuned into our show, we have quite a show for you this week. What an introductory show this would be if you've never seen the Balls and Xtina Show.
I know, right?
I'm telling you, we got a great interview with Adam Barta. He's an influencer, an actor. He's Tan Mom Whisperer, man. If you know from the Stern Show, he's just a cool cat. He does music. I mean, what does this dude not do, man?
He does a lot.
He's a powerhouse, that Adam Barta.
He can sing and dance and everything.
He can.
He's a walking show tune, that guy.
He's something else, man. I gotta say, we had a blast talking to him. I love talking to that dude. Super cool cat. I'm looking forward to that interview. But not only that, we like on the Balls and Xtina Show, we like horror movies. We like punk rock. We like ska. This lady right here likes telling fucked up stories about true crime.
I do.
If you like any or all those things, you should visit us every week, man, because that's what we're talking about. So absolutely. I'm going to get right into it. If you're a horror fan or a nerd, much like myself, this week was a very sad week for us. We lost a really great actor. Not just horror, but he's been in countless films. A lot of people know him from Enter the Dragon. A lot of people know him as Nancy's dad from Nightmare on Elm Street, Black Christmas, Dario Argento's Tenebrae. I can list hundreds. This dude, John Saxon, he passed, but I just wanted to pay tribute real quick because, I mean, can you imagine Nightmare on Elm Street without that dude as Nancy's dad?
No, not at all.
I mean, he was an amazing character actor. So,
yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
I mean, I can't even think of Enter the Dragon without John Saxon. I can't think of any of these films. I mean, he was not only was he an incredible actor, he made a very big impact on the horror genre. So I just want to say thank you, John Saxon. Thank you for the years of entertainment. You will be missed, sir. So that being said, in other movie news, a while ago you might have noticed I had a little cat on named Aaron B Koontz. He directed one of my favorite films of the year, Scare Package, and he has a new film coming out. And I have to say, I was just thinking to myself, August 21st, it's going to be a really big day. There's so much stuff coming out for everybody. I mean, not only do you have The Pale Door coming out, which you got to watch the trailer. It looks like a twist up almost. Like, I mean, it looks it's a western, but then there's like I can't figure out if it's witches or vampires or something's mixed.
Yeah,
but it looks really,
don't see that very often.
It looks
really unique.
It looks pretty cool, pretty unique, man. And then not only that, if you are a fan of the comedian Christopher Titus, which I am, and used to watch a show on, I think it was Fox. He actually, on August 21st, is doing an internet live reunion show, and he's actually doing an actual show.
Oh, wow.
Like a brand new show, sitcom.
Oh, wow.
So, like, he got the whole cast back, and he wrote it, and he's doing the Titus Reunion Show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, live on the internet. So,
wow.
That's going to be coming out that day. Today, I got to check out the new single by the Aquabats from their much-awaited new album. That comes out on the 21st. Kooky spooky. But if you're in the league of the awesome comrades, such as we are, got it today. So I'm going to be doing a little listening party. I'll review the whole thing next week. But I got to hear the third single, Karate Body, today. Super fun. I can't wait to hear the rest of the album. I'll be reporting back next week. Again, on the 21st. So that's a big day. So
it is a big day.
I also got to hear today the third and last single before the whole new album comes out on August 7th. Last Ditch to Now is the last new single they're going to release before the whole album hits. Kill Lincoln. Them cats were on the show not too long ago too.
Yeah.
So make sure you get their new album, Can't Complain. Last Ditch to Now, I dug every track they put out so far, but I think this is by far my favorite. It's very personal, and it's interesting. So I really like it a lot. I really like the direction this new album's going. I love it. I can't wait to hear the rest.
Cool.
Other than that, I got some news on the new Child's Play series. A lot of people was worried that Chucky won't be able to be Chucky and say the F-bomb because it's on, it's on cable. It's going to be on Sci-Fi and USA, and everyone's like, it won't be the same if he doesn't say fuck. I mean,
oh, come on.
I mean, I don't know. It is kind of part of his character, but I mean,
He can still say
you can still get around that. You can put out unrated DVDs, shit like that. But I actually found out today you don't even have to worry about it because being that it's not like like 2, 4, or 11 or and being it is it's like a cable pay kind of Sci-Fi I guess apparently is a pay channel.
Yeah.
And so is USA, I believe.
Yeah,
now.
they're cable channels, yeah.
So Chucky's allowed to say fuck 8 to 10 times an episode.
Really?
Yeah, so all you people that's worried about him not saying fuck, man, fuckity fuck. He's going to be saying it all day long. So be happy. Chucky can say fuck anytime he wants. Found out some interesting things. Not only, I heard, as I mentioned last week, Fiona Dorf's coming back. Brad Dourif's doing the voice Chucky, which he would watch it if he didn't. I mean,
right.
But not only that, for sure, you're going to see Jennifer Tilly at some point. You're going to see Alex Vincent, Andy Barclay at some point.
Nice.
And Christina Lease, which was his stepsister in Child's Play 2. Mm-hmm. So they are all rumored to return, but it's I think it's pretty locked in. So that's pretty cool news. Other than that, I got the word today that there's a little movie with Lip from Shameless. It's a little independent horror film, and these have been kicking ass at the drive-in. These have been actually keeping the box office afloat. It's never been a better time for the horror genre. It's never been a better time for the drive-in. There's nothing good out of the Corona apocalypse, but if I can name one thing that is, the rejuvenation of the drive-in, and these films actually making money. It's made $420,000 already.
Jeez.
And it's like a little, it costs, a little indie film.
Indie film. Yeah, that's great.
So, that makes me super happy. Other than that, I have not one, but 2 reviews we're going to do. And then we're going to get to this beautiful lady's Depravity Corner. And then we're going to get to our interview with Adam Barta. So, let's, I need your help on both of these. So,
okay.
I'm going to start with Train to Busan. It's a movie I loved. I've seen it several times, and I actually talked Xtina into watching it one night. So actually, you're going to take this review because I've already seen it. So
right.
I mean, I wanted to know what your thoughts on this film was. Did you like it?
I loved it. It was it's sad. Balls always says people won't give movies a chance if you got to read subtitles, and you're missing a lot of good film. And boy, he ain't kidding, because this is now like the 2nd or 3rd time, maybe even the 4th, that I've watched something that I had to read subtitles. And I've always thought that it would be distracting from the scenes of the movie, but it's not. It really kind of just flows, which is impressive. And so Train to Busan is about a little girl who wants to see her mom. I guess her mom and dad are kind of getting divorced or whatever. And dad's always busy, he's always working, never has time for her, yada, yada, yada. And so she was going to totally ditch out, the 7, 8-year-old girl was going to go by herself if she had, I'm going to go if I have to, all by myself. So finally he's like, fine, I'll take the day off of work, I'll take you to Busan to see your mom. And, they board the Japanese bullet train, and they kind of had a feeling that there was something wacky going on, but it wasn't quite to this extent, and it was almost like what's going on now, where...
that's the thing that freaks me out a little now. When I'd first seen this film, none of this was going on.
Right, so it's almost like the government was trying to shut down places because there was something wacky going on, and it was a virus, but they didn't know what it was. They just knew that it was turning people into violent people. But what was actually happening is it was turning them into zombies. And so they're eating everybody. So it is a zombie film, but it has a lot of heart, and it has a lot more backstory to it, and there's all kinds of other stuff going on. And it's funny because these characters, you don't want to like them. Most of them, you don't want to like them, and then you end up kind of rooting for them too, and that's weird. And man, it's an emotional freaking movie, and I didn't expect that. So be prepared. Get your box of tissues, because you're going to need them. Unless you don't have a heart or soul, then I guess you'll be alright. But yeah, Train to Busan. Whew! It is edge of your seat, packed with punches, and lots of raw emotion. That's how I would describe it. Is that a good,
I actually couldn't
accurate
put it
review?
better myself. I'm really glad you liked it. I think it was one of the best films of that year.
And there's a sequel.
For that reason, yeah. And guess when it comes out?
When?
August
21st. No way.
On Shudder.
Big day. All right.
We'll be seeing Train to Busan 2 Peninsula. That'll be coming up. I'm pretty excited for that. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, that being said, I mean, I was getting burned out on zombies, man. I got sick of Walking Dead. I got sick of pretty much anything zombie, you know, because I mean, it's flooded. You know, that's usually how it goes. Things get oversaturated, you get sick of it, and then, you know, now, but that actually reinvigorated my interest, because I mean, when you can make a zombie movie with like so much raw emotion, it makes me cry like a little bitch with a skid knee.
He did too. I didn't want to tell you. At least he told you.
It's a great film.
I was trying to keep your rep intact.
I don't give a shit about my rep. I'm not ashamed to have feelings, and if you watch this film and you can't shed a tear, you're soulless. I mean,
honestly, that's true.
It's very. I mean, who would have thought that a simple zombie movie could be a tearjerker?
Right.
I mean, but I love this film. I can't tell you how much I do. I can't believe anybody at this point has missed this film. I mean, it's from, I think it was 2016.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
He's been working on a sequel for 4 years now. So I mean, what I can tell you about Peninsula is it's a different group of characters, and it's 4 years after this movie.
Oh, okay.
And that's all I can really tell you. But I mean, I think they're dealing with the devastation from this first film. So
oh wow!
It picks up 4 years into the future, and you see what happened. So
wow. Okay.
Looking forward to that.
Heck yeah.
Other than that, I tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to getting the thing from last week over. I was dumb enough to play a little game with Xtina. And I made a dumb bet, and I'm not known for my great decision making. So I told her if I was so sure of myself that if I lost, I more or less had to do whatever she said this week. And yeah, let's just get that over with so we can do your Depravity Corner.
All right, well, we will. I was going to make him sing something from Hamilton, but I didn't have time to teach him, and he doesn't particularly love Hamilton, so we didn't go there. But
I would have.
I was trying to think of something semi-equally embarrassing, but gonna make him spit his drink out. But he might like this one though. I mean, who doesn't love a little of this? I think I'm pulling this out of my ass right now. But why don't we sing a tune from Greece? 30 seconds. What do you got?
Fuck yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
What do you want to hear?
I don't know. What do we do?
Oh, you're doing this with me?
Oh yeah, well, I don't know. I'll join in. Sure,
you
why not?
You should, because I mean, you almost have to.
What do we got? Let's think about it.
How about You're the One That I Want?
Okay, let's try it.
Let me start off.
You start it.
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control, 'cause the power you're supplying is electrifying. So better shape up, 'cause I need a man. I don't need a man, you might need a man. They can keep me satisfied. Better shape up, you better understand. I don't know the rest of the song.
All right.
But I do know you're the one that I want. You are the one I want. Honey, you're the one that I want. You are the one. Oh, okay, are we gonna stop?
Right. No, yeah, cut.
Oh,
I think everybody will be happy that I cut you off there.
Yes.
Not
as happy as I am.
That was payback
as
for
you see,
me
I'm
getting
a man
the
of my
makeup,
word.
Celebrity quiz correct. So there you go. Thank you,
I'm
there,
a man
Balls.
of my word.
But we forgot something very important, Balls.
We do?
Well, I don't know if it's very important, but it was pretty cool. We watched a little movie last night.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
we did forget something.
Yeah, how about this?
Holy cow! I'm gonna let you take it.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about it.
You did good with the last one. Let's. What do you know?
Here's what I know. I mean, I watched it. Here's what I know. Balls was like, "Oh, this movie was made over the Corona quarantine, and it was all done on Zoom, and it's about a seance." And I'm like, going.
No, she's like.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. Okay.
I was like, oh Christ, I hate that stuff, you know. So, but I'm like, all right, I'll give it a chance just for the mere curiosity of how does one make an entire movie. I mean, figure it feels like an eternity that we've been in this, but honestly, it's been since March, And I mean, they had to have been like living it for a little while to get a feel for what it was living like. So surely they didn't even write it until April. And you know, you found actors, you wrote a script, and you produced this thing in post-production, and you did all this from home. It blows my mind. It's called Host, and it is on Shudder. It's only an hour long, barely an hour long, really. But it's a British film by a British director, and maybe Balls knows his name, I unfortunately forget, but...
That guy.
That guy. Alright, you can look it up. Host, Shudder. But yeah, it's all on Zoom. They call this, what do they call the seance lady? The seance lady?
Yeah, the seance
Okay, cool. And, you know, they all light a candle, and they're getting ready to, you know, and all her friends are like, Jesus, you're insane. Like, why are we doing this? But, you know, people get bored. They have these stupid, your little happy hour Zoom party. You know, let's mix it up a little. We'll call a witch. I don't know. Light a candle. Talk to dead people. You know, what else do we got to do, right? And, well, yeah, some shit happens. And it's, pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. I typically don't like these types of films, like a Blair Witch, what's the genre called?
Oh, cinema verite.
Yeah, I don't really love it, but because of our situation, and because, you know, they did do a good job, it was actually pretty good. I mean, heck, it got me several times. We had quite a few jump scares in the less than an hour showtime, so well done, very well done, I thought.
I like this film a lot. I like the fact that, I mean, it had to be made with very little budget,
right?
And it got, you know, just implementing like all the new technology. I think is a really cool idea. Mm-hmm. They really pulled off some really great conventional effects, and they looked really good. And even if they'd used CGI, I still couldn't tell because the way the film shot. I mean, it really was an asset to it. It hides. I mean, I'm not even sure if they used it, but I mean, it's all the effects are really good. It's got some really, I mean, the characters can be a little annoying. It's a little slow starting, but once, you know, you give it about 15 minutes, you start to get invested. You start to kind of get to know them and kind of like you start to care about them. And then once it takes off, bam, like it's a bullet train.
You're in, and you're like, I gotta keep watching.
Yeah, it's very suspenseful. I thought it was pretty well crafted for that kind. I mean, for that kind of film. I mean, I was burnt out to death with cinema verite, found footage shit, and I actually just want to see because of the concept of the Zoom thing.
Right.
I never expected in a million years it was actually
gonna be
pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised. I think it's probably one of the better things I've seen this year, and I can't believe I'm even saying that. It'll just be kind of an adequate time waster.
Right.
But I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I love when people try to do something new. And I mean, given the circumstance, I mean, everything was closed. And I mean, people thinking outside the box to still entertain, I think, is a really cool thing. So kudos to Host. I give it 5 skulls out of 5. So,
5 skulls out of 5.
So that being said, thanks for reminding me. I can't believe I totally forgot about that. But it's, just premiered on Shudder yesterday. Check it out, cats. But that being said, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the Balls and Xtina Show. You know her. You love her. I love her. Xtina, let's get to some Depravity Corner this week. Do you actually have a fucked up story for this week?
I think I have a very fucked up story this week, and it's a little different. I'm not gonna lie. It's well, it's about a suicide, or is it?
Dun dun dun.
So that's your teaser there. We're going way back to 2010. That feels like yesterday to me, guys, but apparently it's been 10 years now. How about that? Wow. Crazy to think about that, huh?
Oh.
So 2010, and we're gonna take a little trip over to Australia, eh? And crikeys, balls. Watch out! Hello. Watch out with your lizard there. Anyway.
I kept my lizard on a tight leash, so just relax.
Yeah. So we're going over to Australia. We're going to tell you the story of Phoebe Handschuck. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Is that the past tense of handshake?
Yeah, sure. Handshook, yeah, it does sound like that. Sorry, no offense.
I already shook your hand, some handshook.
Handshook, that's pretty good. That's a good way to remember it. Anywho, young Phoebe was 24 years old when, she lost her life. In a very peculiar way, let's just say. Now, the girl was 24. She was like an administrative assistant. She lived with her boyfriend, who was significantly older, in his mid-40s, early mid-40s, and he was pretty wealthy. He was a socialite. You know what he did? He did what I always thought would be my dream job. He's a music promoter.
Oh, nice.
I know. And so he, and I didn't even know apparently in Australia it's very lucrative, but I wouldn't have thought that would be an extremely lucrative thing. But apparently whatever he is into, it's pretty lucrative. Like, he meets he works with Kylie Minogue. I mean, of course he's in Australia, so of course he does.
Kylie Minogue's still alive?
Well, yeah. So, and things like that. So Balls is getting readjusted.
Ow.
We're readjusting the balls.
Ow.
Readjusting the balls. I cracked myself up. Anyway,
Balls is readjusted.
So anyway, the story came to me. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and my girls who do Crime Junkie, Ash and Britt, shout out to you. This past week, they did this story, and it really appealed to me. And then I found out there was an entire podcast done about this story. So I'm like, holy crap. So it's kind of all I've been hearing about all week, so it's fresh in my mind, so I thought I'd share it with you. Plus, I'd love to get opinions and just put it out there in the world, because I feel like it needs to be. So young Phoebe, very beautiful girl, very close with her family, but, she, like most 24-year-olds, didn't always make the best decisions. And she was quite the drinker, and occasionally dabbled in some cocaine and maybe a few other drugs. No heroin, nothing crazy.
Cocaine.
But she was, a dabbler. And she also, I think, had these prescription sleeping pills. And so this particular night, she had taken some sleeping pills, and I think she had been drinking. And so, did she have issues with depression? Sure. She had some issues with her relationship. I guess it wasn't going great at the time. She had been considering a breakup. So, but if you're considering suicide, there are, ways to go about it that I don't think are this. And let me just tell you. So I don't know, in America we don't really have this. It may be more prevalent in Australia, but have you ever seen a garbage chute where you open this...
It's like a dumbwaiter.
Drawer, kind of, yes, but you kind of have to it doesn't open completely. You know what I mean? You pull it almost like a mailbox, right?
Yeah.
So you pull it open, and then you shove the stuff in there, and it goes down. And when it goes down this tube, there's sharp objects and things like a compactor that break it all up. Well, this was also a luxury apartment too, so I'm sure that might have something to do with it. But they lived, I think, on the 12th floor. So they lived on the 12th floor, and so this would be a great thing to have. My goodness, I would love that. And we only live on the 2nd floor. But anyway, I digress. This girl supposedly put herself into this trash compactor laundry, it looks like a laundry chute, and went down 12 stories. Of course, cut her leg, cut her arm, and basically was found at the end dead because she bled to death. Okay? Now, as someone who has contemplated suicide in my lifetime, That'd be the last thing I would do. Last thing I would do. Okay? Just a little perspective, you know. But, you know, desperate times, desperate measures. Maybe, who knows. Here's where it gets weird. So, the police come. Yeah, I know it's going to get more weird. Wait till you hear this. So, the, like, concierge of the fancy luxury apartment comes. She finds this girl.
Hello.
And freaks out, you know, and calls the police, of course, and they come and they check on her, and they come to find out they just were like, oh crap, she's dead, she killed herself, and, you know, wrap her up and take her away. Not once did anybody check her pulse or attempt CPR. Okay, is that weird?
Yeah.
That's pretty weird, right? Okay, and then wouldn't you want to know, like, well, how'd she get there? Was she sleepwalking? Like, what if somebody put her there? Like, we don't know these things. Well, good thing you live in a luxury apartment that has CCTV footage, right? So the concierge offers the police, you know, well, do you want this CCTV footage? And they're like, well, we're not just yet. We're going to, you know, let us figure out what we're going to do here, blah, 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 paperwork, yada, yada. Well, he's like, okay, but it, like, records over itself in 48 hours, so, you know. Well, they wanted that after 2 days. They called back, and guess what?
Murder.
Well, I don't know, but it recorded over itself, so nobody knows. So now you can't.
There's something weird going on.
Right? So, like, there's 2 faux pas by the police right there. Okay, very strange. So, the day that the afternoon, I think this happened, like, in the afternoon, her boyfriend was at work, and they were getting ready to go, she was getting ready to go to dinner with her dad. They were going to some Thai restaurant. And her boyfriend comes home, and he can't, you know, she's not there, and he thought that was kind of strange, and he sees blood droplets by the computer, and thinks that's a little strange, but doesn't think much of it. I mean, I can't go into details. You guys are going to have to listen to either Crime Junkie or both. Listen to Crime Junkie, and there's another podcast that's called Phoebe's Fall. It goes into a lot more details about all this, but I want to try to get to, like, a couple of points here. So, they had a reservation at this Thai restaurant with her father. The boyfriend comes home from work, and he's like, yeah, I don't know where she is. I haven't heard from her, and, like, I guess, you know, nobody had seen her since earlier in the day or whatever, and she's supposed to be getting ready. So what does he do? He calls the Thai restaurant and orders takeout. What? Now, is that strange? Like, if you're not sure where your girlfriend is, maybe she just stepped out. You don't know for sure. You're supposed to be meeting her and her dad, or going with her to meet her dad at this restaurant. But instead, you call the Thai restaurant and have them come deliver your food. When the delivery guy gets there, they say to him, what's with all the police around here? And he goes, oh, there's a bunch of police out there? Maybe they're looking for my girlfriend. She's kind of missing, or nobody's heard from her in a while. Kind of strange, right? A little suspicious.
He killed her.
Well, I mean, you know, it's a thought. She sends this text to not only him, but to her grandma, to her mom, her dad. She said was it the day before? I think it was the day before. Yeah, the night before her death. Let me read this to you, because this is, even if you're going to commit suicide, I don't think you send, and again, she did do drugs and drank, but this is just way too weird. Hi, family. I am in bed about to sleep, and when I wake, I will transform into the most incredible human being you've ever seen. Not. I will go to hospital. It's safer there. And I hear the special tonight is tomato soup. Delicious. Nutritious. I love you all very much, but not enough to send an individual text. Sorry about that. But time is sleep, and I must be on my way. Merrily, merrily, merrily. Life is but a dream. Now, would you send that to your family and your whatever if you're intending to kill? I mean, it does sound slightly cuckoo wacko, sure.
Slightly.
Slightly, yeah, a lot cuckoo wacko. So, I mean, that does sort of lean toward maybe a suicidal ideation kind of thing. So there's another interesting thing. When they looked at the chute, not one single fingerprint. And we're going to put a picture of this chute thing on there. In order for this girl to have gotten in there, I mean, she would have had to have, grabbed on.
And jumped in.
And then when she got to the bottom, her pants were down to her ankles. Now that could have been in the process of falling, I would imagine. Everybody thinks that's so weird, but to me it makes sense that you're falling
12
down.
12 stories.
Yeah, your pants might fall down. Okay, I'm okay with that. So anyway, they're trying to get all this evidence, and they're trying to find her phone, and her phone was at a shop because she was mad at some point a few nights before. She had a fight with her boyfriend, and she threw it, and he took it to the shop to get it fixed. 3 days after her death, the boyfriend's dad picks up the phone from the shop. So I guess he was going to turn it over to the police for evidence. His dad is a Supreme Court judge in Australia. The stepmom, a municipal judge. Find that a little odd? Okay. So his name, and this is it, and if this doesn't scream douchebag, I don't know what does. His name is Anthony. He goes by Ant.
Oh.
So Ant, the boyfriend, he doesn't know. He doesn't know anything. Doesn't know anything. And then, it was a weird thing with the families. Somebody wanted to have like this wake, and his family wanted to have a different wake. It's like, this is your girlfriend. They've been together maybe 2 years. Like that shouldn't be their decision, and it shouldn't be yours either. And he was like next of kin, so he got her body, and he was gonna like keep it, or I don't know. It was weird. You have to listen to this podcast, but I'm going to leave you with this part of the story. Again, do some more research into this. His name is Ant. What is his last name? Hansel, something like that. I'll post the names. I'll post the pictures. You can do the more Googling on your own. But it's fascinating because this happened in 2010. Open and shut case. Considered it a suicide. Never reopened it. Never considered it a homicide. But all these, armchair detectives at home and her family have been pushing for this isn't right and we need further investigation. All right, fine, whatever. 2018. Apparently, between Phoebe's death and 2018, he had been married for a couple of years, divorced. I don't know if there's any kids involved. Hopefully not. He starts dating another girl. They're together about 9 months. She's a 25-year-old Australian model. Now keep in mind, this guy was in his 40s 10 years ago. So now he is 51, or 50-ish.
He has money.
And he's right. And so he's dating this 25-year-old aspiring model. So of course. Interestingly, they had a fight. And the next day, she's found in her home, dead of a strangulation. She had a cord around her neck, and they say there's really no possible way, looking around, nowhere she could have possibly hung herself from and fell. And she was alone, and she lived with her parents, and her parents came home from the store to find her dead. So now, this is being investigated as a homicide for sure now. Thank goodness. That young lady's name is Bailey Snyder. And, she is, I just think it'd be awfully kind of ironic if two of your girlfriends, while you're dating them, commit suicide. A little strange, right? So yeah, I think that that is definitely something worth looking into. I used to not like unsolved mysteries. Now, like, when you hear stuff like this and you go, something surely ain't right and something needs to be done about it, yeah, this is where I stand now. And yeah, I didn't even have to say anything to you. You pretty much were like, you did it. So yeah, that's the growing assumption, is that he had something to do with it. So I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Nobody knows. This man's still out gallivanting with the hobnobs in the society, and Mr. Money Man. We'll see how this goes. Money can buy you anything. Sickening. But that's I thought that would be an interesting take on the depravity this week. A little mystery for you.
Sure was.
And, do some more research. Go down them rabbit holes. Let's find out and get justice for these two young ladies, if justice is indeed needed to be found, which I think it is. So there you go. And with that said, Balls, what do we have next?
Well, wow, that was a good one.
Thank you.
Coming up, we have the interview with Adam Barta. So let's just get right to that, cats. We will catch you again next week. If you like what you heard, if you didn't, you can still come back. We don't mind. So see you next week, cats. Peace and love. Peace and love. Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show. I am absolutely delighted to have a familiar face if you're a Howard Stern fan. Yeah, I think you might know this cat. You might recognize him from his work with the amazing Patricia Marie, or one of his many other various projects. With me today, I have the amazing Adam Barta. How you doing?
I absolutely love that you called me a kid, because I haven't been called a kid in so long. So it makes me feel nice and young. Thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome.
I'm an old man.
How you been?
I'm good. I was just, saying it's really been, I've been blessed down here. Like, I'm in a part of Florida where it's been relatively quieter. The stores that have food on the shelves, everyone's social distancing. It's been really encouraging and really positive. Now, I know my experience is not representative of the whole country, because I've heard horror stories, but in this pocket of Port St. Lucie where I am, it's been really great. People have been helping each other. Everybody's, generally, mostly, I should say, not everybody, but like people are really in good spirits here. I've been really blessed to be at home in the heat. I lay out by my pool every day. Like, people hate me for it, but I am aware of my situation. I'm very, very thankful. So overall, I've been good.
I'm really happy to hear that, because like I have to say, I'm actually really disappointed, because around here, everybody's like putting up a fight. Nobody wants to wear masks. Everybody wants to be selfish.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you're taking my civil liberties and all that bullshit. And just really kind of, nobody's even like, I thought this would be a time where you kind of hit the reset button and everybody would kind of want to come together and kind of be unified and people would actually learn something, but everybody's a fucking idiot down here. So I'm glad to hear somewhere actually, it's actually coming together. It's actually very hopeful for me. So.
Yeah, there are people here too that are stupid. I mean, for sure, absolutely. I was just saying about my aunt is in New York and she's in the Bronx, and she was just telling me she doesn't even know if she's going to be able to get food in the next week, which terrifies me.
That's terrible. Man. I worry about my mom and stuff like that. It's like I'm like an hour away, and like it's the same with I. I'm like, and there's really nothing you can do. Your hands are kind of tied. Yeah. I mean, and I have a fucked up immune system. My mom has like MS, so it's like I'm not getting anywhere near. So
it's scary,
It's a fucked up time, man. But I'm glad you're holding up. I'm holding up, given the circumstances. I get to talk to cool cats like you all the time.
Good.
Occupied lately, and luckily it's going pretty well, I have to say. And I know you're doing pretty well too, I have to say. We're going to talk about that. So I just want to I want to do a little, a little bit about you growing up. I'm curious myself as a fan. Where did you grow up at? How was your upbringing like? Tell me a little bit about little Adam growing up.
Well, I grew up in the Bronx. I was born and raised, my dad passed away when I was I think 15. So my mom kind of raised me as an adult, and, it was great. Like, I had a really good experience, I think, growing up, in the Bronx, it was always hard, like in the 80s, and 90s, even being gay and dealing with that. But, overall, like, I think I overcame so much adversity in my life because I had so many things thrown at me that it really just made me stronger. So, when I was going back to the Bronx regularly, like every couple of weeks, it was getting draining. But now that I've not been back there, what feels like 9 years with this quarantine, I'm anxious to go back home. Like, I miss my aunt, I miss my family and friends, and just miss my home, like my where I'm from, and I don't think I would ever go back there to live because I love Florida, but I do miss like parts of it. So, growing up there really kind of like ingrained me to having a certain fondness for New York.
Well, let me ask you this: what age did you get the music bug? When you was little, did you always dream of being in the music business, or is that was something that came into fruition later?
Well, it's funny. My parents, if they were alive, would probably tell you at the age of 5, like I used to put on concerts for them in my living room where I would dress up and I would put on, I was obsessed with Olivia Newton-John as a little kid. So I put on boots, cowboy boots, and I would just put on the Olivia Newton-John concert and just sing out. And like my first record was Madonna, Into the Groove. So like, you know, I kind of grew up just with music all around me and wanting to be a performer. So I would say since I came out of the womb singing pretty much.
And they were both very supportive. That's awesome.
Yeah, my parents were amazing. My dad passed away when I was younger. He was like such a supporter of mine, and my mom was like my biggest cheerleader. And you know, I know that she's up there like very happy right now, and she's helping me as much as she can.
What was the one definitive moment that you could tell me? Is there one that stands out where you knew you had to be a performer the rest of your life?
Boy, you know. Probably, I mean, the first time I was on the Stern Show, which was, the first time I was on the Stern, this is live on the go. The first time, I'm going to hold this now because make it, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I can edit all that out. That's no problem.
Okay, great. So the first time I would say I was on the Stern Show probably was one of the moments when I was like, wow, this is something like, you know, I was, you know, growing up watching Howard in my living room as a kid and as a teenager, you know, and then being part of this legacy, like really makes me feel like I've done something where I've reached people and hopefully made them laugh and smile and have a good time, you know, and that's what I try to do with everything. So, you know, and the other moment I would say, which was really monumental for me, was when I was doing Asbury Pride, I think it was in 2012 or 2011, and I had Kathy Sledge on stage with me, invited me up to sing We Are Family. Now, she sings We Are Family, Sue Sister Sledge. And she invited me up on stage to sing with her. And there's a moment I was just looking at the audience like, oh my God, I'm singing We Are Family with the woman that sings it on a stage in front of thousands of people. Like, this is amazing, like, you know? So
I have moments like that too, where like if I would have went back and told like 15-year-old me that like I'd doing any of that, half the shit that I'm doing, I would have never believed me. So I'm like, I mean, that's such a surreal moment.
Right?
It's so, yeah.
Yeah, it feels amazing.
But let me ask you this. What do you think you'd be doing had you not taken the path you're on now? Was there anything that you were passionate about otherwise?
Well, you know, as an adult, probably I would have to think about that, and it would probably be a much different answer. But I will say, as a kid, I wanted to be either a hairstylist or a teacher. That was like the two things that I like loved to do. When I would love to play with hair, and I loved to like pretend like I was a teacher. Like I would have all the lesson plans and everything. You know, now I think about that, I'm like, I hate kids. Like, I don't want to say I hate kids. Like, I love kids when they're being cute and they're not, I can give them back. But, you know, I don't think I would ever be a teacher, but, you know, probably one of those things. I mean, otherwise I would be like, I want to be a business person because I love just like being a business mogul, you know, there's a certain rush to that, I think. So.
I'm not sure a lot of Stern fans are aware, but you've had a very rounded career. I mean, you've been in music, you've been acting, you were in theater, you're a reality star. I mean, what do you find out of all those to be the most challenging?
You know, probably I would say the music, because there's a really fine line with it, you know, and my career has had this crazy course where I've done like these funny songs, you know, and I've also done really good music where it's been on the Billboard chart. So I think people get confused sometimes. I get confused myself with, you know, they hear some of my stuff, they're like, this guy's a joke. But I'm like, it is a joke, you know, it is supposed to be a joke. It's funny. And then I do serious stuff, and I think people don't see that, and they're like, you know, it's a different world. They kind of get confused. Like, why is he working with Tan Mom when he has this beautiful voice and amazing songs? And then people say, why is he doing this serious stuff when he's so funny with Tan Mom? So it's like kind of marrying them together. But you know, it is what it is, I guess.
That's a good answer. It's maybe if people see this, they'll see that line between in the same. I mean, I don't understand why people can't take somebody seriously if they do something fun once in a while. You know, like it's interesting.
Yeah. Just laugh. I mean, it's silly. It's stupid. You know.
It brought me tons of joy. I have to tell you, it's hysterical. But how did you end up in theater when you were younger?
Well, I would start to, like I said, put on shows from my parents. I think, you know, I've evolved into this thing. Like, all right, I want to do community theater. I want to kind of like audition for plays and stuff. And I remember a big thing when I was a teenager was getting my headshots done. You know, my parents were not rich by any means of the imagination, but they were amazing and they provided for me, you know, as much as they could. And you know, it came to the point where I was like, oh my God, I want some headshots done. And they, you know, saved, and it became headshots, became, all right, I want to audition for the local theater company. And then I started doing, you know, theater in college, and I did off-Broadway. So it kind of was just like me pounding the pavement for years, you know, you know, just trying to put my foot in wherever I could. I mean, I did so many free performances. I probably would be a millionaire if I had charged for some of the stuff that I've done throughout my life. But, you know, that's the way you got to pay your dues. And that's what I believe, you know, you got to really pay your dues in this business, and you got to be willing to put in the work. So I like to put my money where my mouth is and really live that in what I do.
So Adam, tell me, how did you end up in the theater?
So I actually, you know, going back to when I was performing as a little kid and doing these plays for my parents, like I would, you know, bug them all the time, and they would just give me, you know, we were not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but they would just give me anything I wanted. And, you know, in a good way, you know, they loved me. And it became like, oh my God, I want headshots. I want to be an actor. And they're like, okay. So, you know, my mom paid for the acting school, and then I got the headshots, and then it's like, I'm going to audition for this Broadway show. And of course I didn't get on it, but I got like off Broadway. So I was like so excited. And, you know, I would just do all these plays and these free shows and wherever I could perform. And I really believe like that's what it's like. You need to pay your dues in this business. And I think like I try to live that. So, you know, I did so many crazy things when I was younger, and it just kind of evolved. But, you know, the theater stuff I would love to get back to later on in life, because I do love doing it. I love being, as I'm sure your next question is going to head into the theater, but you know, that's something I definitely want to get back to in a bigger way later on, like Broadway or something.
Well, actually, it is related. I actually wanted to ask you, can you tell me what the worst and best part about being an actor is?
I would say the worst part is the rejection, hands down, and the just being able to step outside of yourself, because you really need to look at yourself with an honest lens, I think, to be an actor. Like, you know,
how is that possible? I mean, how do you do that?
It's so hard, because you really have to accept what your shortcomings are, you know, what people don't like, and embrace them. And like, you know, if you're, you know, for me, you know, being like this kind of scrappy teenager from the Bronx, or kid that grew up from the Bronx, you know, I always thought of myself as like this hot, gorgeous, sexy guy, you know, that's trying, and it's like, am I Justin Bieber? No. Am I ever going to be Justin Bieber? No. But I'm Adam, and I'm cute in my own way, and I'm fun, and you know, that's what I can portray on camera, you know? So, you know, a lot of times it's really accepting, like, that you know, maybe I'm not the leading man, but maybe that's fine. Maybe I'm the supporting guy, and I'm the cute party, you know, guy next with Patricia, which I'm fine with, you know, at this point in my life. As long as people are happy and into it, I think I'm satisfied.
You had mentioned earlier, I grew up being different and bullied and picked on and beat up every day and stuff. I mean, you grew up being gay in the Bronx, you said. I mean, how did you face prejudice, and how did you get through it? Because like I coped through music, and I mean, I didn't have a lot of friends. I mean, I pretty much coped through music and you know, nerd stuff like video games. Like how did you get through that? I mean, it's such a horrible thing to have to deal with. Like you have to be internally strong, and
Yeah, the video games. I still play video games. I just beat the new Zelda Breath of the Wild with my roommate. So
I'm still trying to land a Switch, man.
Yeah, it's the first Switch game I played, and I loved it. Yeah, video games, like, you know, and my craft. I thinking back on it, like that's really what kind of got me through. Is like the thought of like, one day I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna be a singer. I'm gonna be on stage. People are gonna know my name. They're gonna like me. They're gonna laugh at me. They're gonna love me. And that kind of was what got me through and kept me going. You know, like I remember I would put on shows in my bedroom, even as late as being a teenager, where I would just by myself, and I would pretend I was on the red carpet and be like, you know, just dreaming. Just dreaming got me through it, I think.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. I give you have to be a real different kind of person, and a strong person to even persevere through that kind of torture. I mean, I could write a book, like, and people don't even believe me when I tell my experience growing up, because people say, I went to a predominantly redneck school, and I was, I mean, like, everybody faces it in a certain way, but I mean, it's just, I give you much credit, man. I mean, that's just
same to you
to go through. Do people treat you you know, differently now that you're famous? I mean, you're pretty recognizable now, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, I don't even realize. Like, the biggest thing was like, you know, and like I said, I've been doing a lot of this like for years. And you know, the first time I was on Stern was in 2013, but things really blew up in 2018 when Free to Be Me came out and some other stuff was going on outside of the show. And, you know, now it's like weird because like there are people that like I interact with on a very high level. Like they're CEOs of companies that I will meet, you know, nothing to do with Stern, nothing to do with even entertainment. And they'll be like, oh my God, I'm a fan of yours. I love you. And I'm like, it's the CEO of some major company. I'm like, maybe.
That's gotta feel good, man. You have to.
Yeah. Like,
did
wow,
you expect
okay,
that to
sure.
go? Did you expect that to go so viral? I mean, that took off. Like,
no, and when we went to do it, it was like a thing where it was like, all right, we're gonna just do this for fun. It's gonna be like old times. We're gonna do one more. We haven't seen each other. You know, literally just put it out there. But I remember being in the car listening to the audio with my roommate and just laughing hysterical. And I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. I was like, if Howard plays this is gonna be people are gonna go crazy. Like, because I was dying laughing. And it just, you know, one thing led to another and it just took off. And the moment I really knew it was huge was when I woke up in the morning and Jimmy Kimmel was talking about it on the show with Howard and people, I was like, what? You know, I was like, wow, this is something big.
Well, that leads me to my next question. How did you end up working with Patricia Marie?
We had a manager back in 2011 who I still work with, who paired us together and introduced us for the song project, because I was kind of doing all the viral songs with like the Octomom and Tan Mom and Teen Mom, and it was like another mom for me to work with in my cap. And you know, she paired us together. And I remember meeting Patricia that first night and was like, I can't work with this woman. She's too out of control. Like, there's no way. I called it Patricia. She was there. Like, I can't work with this woman. She's out of control. Unbelievable. And here we are 8 years later, 7 years later, and go figure.
She is truly an amazing woman. I mean, I love her to death. My fiance loves her to death. I just,
she's one of my best friends.
She's amazing. I mean, she's so sweet. I wish people like could see how sweet she is, because she leaves me messages and things, and it just always brightens our day for sure. But
yeah, she's a lot of fun.
What is your fondest memory with Patricia?
Oh gosh,
one that stands out.
We had, you know what? Probably when she was here, when we filmed the Free to Be Me music video, we did it at my house, actually. Howard, it's so funny because Howard said it was a mansion and this.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
It was literally in my house. I'm like, wow, can I sell this for $1 million now? Because I probably won't get that. But when she came here and we shot that video, and then that night she made lasagna for us, and we had like it was just like this nice home cooked meal, and it was me and a couple of the boys and my roommate, and it was just really nice. She was like the mother hen and kind of like took care of us and fed us, and it was very sweet. It was a fun time.
When can we expect the reality show that you were talking about when I tuned into the concert? When can you give us any details on is when that will air, or are you still in the process of shopping it around, or?
Depending on when this goes up, I will say stay tuned. There may or may not be out, but next week or the week of May 7th, probably some more stuff will be coming out. We're definitely going to be.
I was just getting to that. I'd like to know. Can you tell me a little about this upcoming concert? The idea of having her read Shakespeare is completely brilliant. Was that your idea, or how did that come to fruition?
So yeah, the idea, of course, that was my idea, which, you know, is brilliant or madness or both.
Oh, it's brilliant. Trust me.
You know, and you know, I sold it to her because like she's very particular about people understanding too that it's funny, because you know, people are like, this one's ridiculous. What is she trying? She's a joke. Yes, it's a joke. Yes, it's Tan Mom doing Shakespeare. It is funny. It is silly.
It's supposed to be funny and silly.
Right.
I don't understand how people don't get the joke.
Like,
I go on there and I defend her constantly, man. People piss me off.
I know. Exactly. Thank you for
we
that.
love her. Like, I can't. It's like, you know, I would do that for any friend. Like, I mean, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what though? They would do it to her, but they would do it to anybody else. Like
Right, and that's what I tell her. They're saying your name.
Jealousy.
You know, exactly. I mean, they're saying your name because they know you, and you know.
I'm a complete nobody. I wake up every day to about 30. You should kill yourself. You're the worst caller in Stern Show history. Blah 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 blah. In fact, it's not a morning unless I see that. I think it's hysterical, personally.
It is. They're keeping you famous. They're keeping your name on their lips. So hey, thank you for that.
There's no such thing as bad publicity in Balls book. Trust me.
There is if you're naked and it involves flames, but you don't want to get into that. So
I'm never naked, dude. Micropenics happening. So, you know. But anywho, is there anything you've done thus far that you regret?
Oh God, everything. No, just kidding. lots of stuff, but you know, you live and you learn. I mean, even the stuff with Trisha, you know, like I look back and I'm like, that could have been done so much better. But I'm like, if it was better, it wouldn't have been as funny. So I'm like, you know, it is what it is. There are some songs and projects that I've killed off of iTunes completely. There was a song that I did with Sydney Leathers years ago, who was the girl that was sexting with Anthony Weiner.
And,
I remember that. Was that Wienerizer?
We did a song. Wienerizer. We did. You actually remember? That's crazy. We did that song together.
I told you, man. I'm a fan.
You what?
I'm a fan. I told you.
I love it. Sydney had messaged me. It was like, would you want to take that down off iTunes? And I was like, you know what? I think we should. I was like, let's kill it. So we both agreed and we took that one down. You know, there's some songs that were just like a miss, but you know, it is what it is. Like, it's just, you know, it's like any artist, you know, you have your flops here and there. So.
Well, I mean, if that's the worst thing that you can think of, I don't think you're doing okay.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. You know, there was that porn years ago, but TMZ didn't want it, so we just shelved it. But I'm just kidding.
I wish I could say I was. But anyway, I'm sure there's tons of that out there that I drunkenly texted people. So I'm paying for it. Trust me. But do you like horror films at all?
I sure do.
Oh, see, because on my show, we do everything. It's pretty more or less about bands we're passionate about, people like you that we're passionate about, horror films and true crime. So I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite horror films, being that you like them?
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, hands down, #1 favorite movie of all time, horror movie. I can recite the movie probably 80% of it by heart. I've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times. Hellraiser 3, Hellraiser 2.
Hell on Earth, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I also like the wildly unpopular Hellraiser 4. I think that was the last one before it got absurd into the like ridiculous Hellraiser
well, yeah, they
series.
started doing direct-to-video after that.
Yeah, and they became like weird. But Hellraiser 4 was one of my favorites. Nightmare on Elm Street. What other horror films? You know, like I'm into Halloween. I like Friday the 13th ish. Not my favorite series. But
do you like anthologies?
What?
Do you like anthologies?
Yeah, I love the Phantasms. I love the well, that's not an anthology. Yeah, Phantasms. I love American Horror Story is one of my favorite series of all, you know, to watch. And I've seen them all every season.
Did you ever see Trick or Treat?
I've seen that. I do like that. I like oh my god, I'm a big fan. Tales from the Dark Side. I love those films. I love the there's one H.P. Lovecraft's Necronomicon, which is really dark and cool.
Oh, I've seen that, yes. I grew up on Tales from the Dark Side, man. I mean,
Tales from the Dark Side,
dude. None of the episodes is ever as scary as that opening. I'd be a kid and that would come on late at night and it would scare the shit out of me. And I loved it.
Oh, absolutely. But it still scares me when I'm like late at night and that music.
To be reality.
Reality.
There's a dark side. And then that keyboard sent that.
Those trees, yeah.
And then you see the episode and it's kind of hokey and goofy, but I got the whole box set. I love Tales from the Crypt. I'm actually excited because in August, John Cassier, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, is going to be on my show, so I'm excited about that. He just cut a commercial for me.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm pretty blown away by that, man. So, well, that's great. I'm glad you. Yeah, some people they're like, oh, they scare me. I can't. Actually, some of the people that I was surprised that I even hear this say, one of my biggest idols. I love Dickie Bear from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. He hates horror movies. He said they scare the shit out of him, and I was like, I can't even believe.
Oh wow!
Like that blows my mind that like he would be scared at all. Like, oh,
not for everyone. Yeah,
I gotta say, man. Well, let me ask you this: have you ever had to work with difficult people, and how did you deal with the situation?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Patricia, admittedly, by herself, is not the easiest person to work with. So, you know, I've learned a lot dealing with.
There's people that's harder than her, right?
Well,
is she a number one?
She might be a number one, and I say that with love, obviously. You know,
peace and love.
I say peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. You know, hard to work with. You know, there are some like drag queens that have been divas. You know, which I think that's par for the course that I've worked with. Some reality star. Oh, I can think of one person who I absolutely hate. You know what? I don't want to say I hate her because hate. You know, I don't have hate in my heart. I absolutely can't stand this person. I'm not going to say her name, but I'm going to make it very obvious who she is.
You don't have to.
And she showed up. It was like 6 or 8 hours late to a video shoot with 50 people waiting, just strolled in.
That's just being an asshole. I don't care who you
are. She used me to like get her pictures out and then like accused me of stealing money. She helped me get her back on a very popular TV show and then blocked me. She's just a user, and like I can't stand her. But as far as who it is, if you look back at the video I've done with where I got married, she was in that one. And she's probably been the most difficult and horrible person that I've worked with in this industry.
Well, you know who you are, and shame on you for doing that to Adam. That's coming from me. So
karma will get you. That's all.
I feel that way too, man. That's why I don't trip out when people do shit. I'm just like, it always comes back,
Yep.
What's the strangest thing a fan has asked of you? I mean, I'm sure Stern fans might ask you some weird stuff, huh? Do you ever have to sign somebody's ass, or
Yeah, I've done that. I've signed boobs. I've signed. I think I've signed like groins. As I say. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I've seen so much crazy shit. It probably all just blends together. But like, people like. I mean, especially just like people wanting to take photos. I mean, lots of people wanted to sleep with me. I mean, that's who I haven't slept with. But I mean, I can't blame them. But
I was gonna say, oh man, you got problems, huh? Oh no, yeah, people want to sleep with me.
I haven't had sex in probably 18 years, but no.
I don't believe that.
It's been a while. It's been a while since the quarantine, but yeah.
Well, you still have to jerk off, I'd imagine. I would go insane if I couldn't jerk off.
Oh, I mean, we did a song about it. Glossy. Patricia sung all about it. So
I'm saying there's no way you're not jerking off. I'm jerking off. In fact, I'm doing it now as we talk. So.
Me too. Just kidding. So people know.
So tell me, Adam, what were your influences growing up?
Well, I touched on like Olivia Newton-John.
I'm assuming
Madonna.
Your parents played a big role, but
yeah, like my parents. Obviously, my dad passed away when I was 15, but my mom was one of my biggest role models. She still is my biggest role model and my biggest hero. Artist-wise, there's like Madonna and not so much Olivia Newton-John now, but. Growing up, and like the Backstreet Boys and even Britney Spears and all those people, like when I was like a late teenager kind of.
Have you ever get to meet any of these people?
No, but I was on Britney's In the Zone TV special as a background dancer years ago. A lot of people don't know. When I say background dancer, I mean like not paid, like literally in the blur in the background dancing. Like
still counts.
Oh, and Lady Gaga. I have a Lady Gaga story that I tell.
Oh, I would love to hear that. I love Gaga.
Before she was famous, right on the precipice of her becoming famous, I think it was like in 2009, we were at the New Now Next Awards, which was the first TV appearance she ever performed on Logo TV. Okay. And I was backstage on the red carpet or whatever. We saw Gaga there. Now, at the time, Gaga nobody knew who she was really, but imagine this artist, she had like the wig and the glasses and the disco stick, and she's got the leotard. I'm like, this is cool. Like, is she part of the drag queen act? Like, what does she do? Like, what is this? Mm-hmm. So I didn't really talk to her because I wasn't sure kind of what she was about. So I was kind of like, all right, it's cool, but maybe just stay over here. She performed, and then it was the next week or a couple weeks later, we were at MTV together. I was filming an episode of Pop Lab, which is a TV show on Logo, and she was filming an episode of Pop Lab, coming in right after me. And they said to me, do you want to meet Lady Gaga? She's coming in right after you. Should stay and hang out. She's going to be in the studio. I was like, I actually have to get to a gig in Atlantic City, so I'm gonna leave. Tell her I said hi. She sounds awesome. So second time I left, not meeting her. The very next day, I'm in Atlantic City, but who was there? But Lady Gaga at my gig.
No way.
So we're in a room together on a panel or something, and it was like the panel was ending, and I was like, should I go up to her and say hi, because we were just on Logo together. I was like, hey, maybe I should connect with her and say. And I was like, I have a headache. I'm just going to go back to the room. I'll do it another time. Well, here we are, 13 years later, whatever it is. Lady Gaga's beyond famous, and I had 3 chances, and I denied her like Judas, like the horrible person I am. So I never got to meet her.
Oh man, that's rough.
So, my mom always used to say, you should write her a letter and tell her that you love her and you want to meet her. And I was like, what? And tell her I was a horrible person and didn't say hi to her? Like,
you know what, though? Like, never say never, though. It's not like you can't in the future. I mean, I
would love to. I mean, she's definitely an icon and a role model of mine for sure.
I think she's an amazing person and does so much good for this world. I mean,
she does.
That performance on Howard where she does Edge of Glory, holy cow, I get goosebumps. It's like, it's amazing.
I mean, the fact that I sat on the same couch as her and performed on the same couch as her, even
that's amazing.
Is insane to me.
Well, moving right along, what do people do regularly in society that irritates or pisses you off?
Probably, right now, I mean, obviously when people aren't following the rules and think they're above the rules, with the social distancing and everything. But I mean, that's the general rule too. Yeah. When people are just jerks about following common courtesy, that's the thing that grinds my gears. Just give people common courtesy, man. Cause it's like, it doesn't take a lot. And it's like, it just goes a long way. It goes a long, long way, to not be selfish and just think of other people. So that's really kind of pisses me off.
I agree. That's one of my big ones too. What do you feel that people do too much of these days?
Masturbating.
You could do too much of that?
Just kidding.
That might be where the hair on my knuckles came from.
No, they probably politics. I think we are so in the weeds with politics. And I'm not saying it's bad, but you can't healthily deal with it 24/7. You got to turn off CNN, you got to turn off Fox News and just detox from it and put small doses of politics.
It'll drive you insane. It'll drive you insane if you even try to keep up with it. I had to completely, whenever this shit first started, man, after a few weeks, I had to completely distance myself from all that because it was depressing me and making me insane. Like
yeah.
Not only that, I don't understand the argument. Like, everybody's, arguing with family members, like disowning friends, all that shit. And it's not like either anybody's better than the other. I mean, it's like, do you like poop or diarrhea? Because like it's both shit,
Exactly it. Yeah, it's like we're all doing the same thing. Like just give us courtesy.
Yeah, like I couldn't agree more, man. That's just you can't even go on social media. Can't turn on the television. It's like I gotta bury my head in the sand or I'm gonna go insane with that shit because people take it so, and then they act like they're fucking CNN too. Everybody's
my roommate
analyst at this point.
My roommate just deactivated his Facebook because he was like, I can't take it anymore. It's too toxic. I was like, I wish I could. If I wasn't in the line of work I probably would.
I totally get that. Like, I envy that. Like, I wish I could do that. But then, like, same here, I'm like, how do I keep up with people? What's the best gift that anybody's ever given you?
I mean, my mom, probably just my sense of strength and courage, watching her persevere. That was the best thing she's ever instilled in me, and that's the thing that keeps me going to this day is the strength to learn how to deal with this world and the craziness in it. And when I feel like when I lost her, it was hard because that was taken away, but it's still here, and I found it again with her, and I will cherish that for the rest of my life. When I'm in my darkest place, I'll always go back to that. And I have a little table in my house where her pictures are, and she's all over, and just that is the one thing that I will just take with me for the rest of my life.
I feel that way about my grandparents, man. Like, it's weird because like it happened so long ago, but it seems like yesterday still. There's not don't think about it or something reminds you of it, and like it's awesome because like I feel like that's where I got some of my best qualities, and I'm thankful for that. I totally get that. Let me ask you, what sitcom family would you want to be part of if you could, like a TV sitcom?
Ooh, oh my God, this is good. TV sitcom. Oh, it has to be sitcom, so funny. Okay, so, oh my gosh, this is a tough question.
Well, at least I'm not asking you the same old bullshit, huh?
I know, I like this. I'm thinking, I like, the Connors would be fun. I was always
thinking that, man. That might be the go-to because they seem kind of laid back and like.
They would be our type of people. They would be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're our type of people. I couldn't fit in. I don't know if I could fit in like Family Ties or something like that. But
no, too stuffy, too uptight.
Maybe the Facts of Life would be okay. I don't know.
I was just for fun. I would want to be like the George Clooney character.
I want to be Mrs. Garrett.
Or Mrs. Garrett.
Girl.
Love it.
So you're going with the Connors?
I'm gonna go with the Connors. Final answer.
Very good. I might go with Alf. Okay, but anyway, what's the best piece of advice anyone's ever given you?
Probably to really just not listen to the dark voices that are there. And as I get older, there's so much more in my head, but I'm so much easier to pick them out now when I hear something, speaking to me, and it's like, Adam, you can't do that. You're not good enough for that. Someone's going to complain about it. Someone's going to do, and I'm like, just shut up. I'll just do it, And it's just overcoming that feeling of anxiety and that gut, and just that's the best advice, is just really don't get in your head. Like, really don't let it stop you, because it sounds so cliche. I know RuPaul says it all the time. So many people say it, like your inner saboteur, but it's so true when you really realize what that means. Like, don't let it stop you, because the only person stopping you from doing anything is yourself. Unless somebody physically has you chained to a bed, there's nothing you can't do, So just really don't get in your head. And that's the best advice I can give anyone. And that's what was given to me for sure.
Can you name me a fun fact about you that may surprise your fans?
Amy Poehler rubbed barbecue sauce all over me.
That's pretty good.
And it's true. We were on set of Upright Citizens Brigade years ago, and I was at a scene a waiter in the scene with her, and she was like, "You don't look like a waiter. You're not messy enough. Let's get barbecue sauce all over you." I was like, "Okay." Like, it's just rubbed it all over me. This was before she was really famous too, so it was a very weird but memorable experience.
What's one thing that you've tried that you would never try again?
One thing that I've tried that I would never try again. Probably when I was younger, I took Molly, ecstasy. Yeah. Now, I don't do drugs ever. What happened was, I don't ever do drugs. Like, I'm not, I smoke weed, but prescribed medically, whatever, for anxiety. But, growing up, like, there was a lot of drugs around me, and it really conditioned me to stay away from anything hardcore. And I had an incident where I was like, I was in a very safe circumstance, and someone gave me the pill, and I was like, what's this? Let's just take it. And I had a really bad reaction to it. And I was like, wow, this is why I've never done drugs and never will again, but it was just like really, panic attack, anxiety, like just crazy. So, drugs are bad, kids. Don't do drugs.
Oh, they sure are. I always heard growing up how great acid was, and I accidentally did it. Someone slipped it to me. Worst experience of my life, man.
I get anxiety thinking about just hearing you tell me that story.
It scared the shit. I thought I was gonna die. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, it's so great. You see all this fun shit and everything's cool." It was not like that for me at all. It was like 12 to 14 hours of a complete nightmare that you can't get out of. Like, you can't. Yeah. I don't like anything where I have no control over.
That's it. That's why it scares me about doing any drugs. The feeling of like, oh God, it's coming. What's gonna happen?
Yeah. I don't like that at all. What's the craziest thing you've ever did on a dare? Was that it?
No, that wasn't even a dare. That was just like, here, drink it. On a dare, I'm not really that crazy with dares. I probably maybe gone skinny dipping, I think, in my pool.
That works.
So pretty vanilla.
If they did a biopic of your movie at some point of your life, like, who would you want to play you? Who do you think would be?
Channing Tatum, Zac Efron, who's anyone hunky? The Rock. I think it would be hysterical. The Rock, just completely untypecast.
I would totally watch it, I think.
I would too, The Rock. They did. So, funnily enough, when VH1 actually did a spoof on me, and they actually cast this guy to play me, and I was like, wow, this is the type of person that would play me in a movie. And it was a cute guy. I was like, okay, it was a comedian.
Well, that's good. They didn't pick nobody who looks like me, at least, so that's good.
You're sexy as hell, too.
Get the hell out of here. You're going to make me blush. What's one thing you'd stockpile if you found out that they wasn't going to make it anymore? I was a kid, man. I wish I could go back in time and get Quisp cereal, because it made me so happy, and you can't find it anymore. Like if you found out tomorrow they weren't going to make something that you love, like, what would you stockpile? DB Sweeney said pizza, like frozen pizza. And I'm like, I don't know.
Not frozen pizza.
Generic.
Well, I've been really into stovetop stuff lately. I make the boxes.
Man. I have this great casserole I make with that. I'll send it to you. It's so amazing.
So I'd probably say stovetop maybe, because I don't think I could live without it. I was just at the supermarket and I was just buying it, so I think stovetop.
Chicken, sour cream, cream of mushroom soup, cream of celery, and stovetop stuffing layered in the top. Oh, I'm telling you. I'll send it to
you.
Yum. Do you have any messages of hope for this crazy time for everybody? How any advice?
I think it's just really going to come down to us really being brothers and sisters to each other in the world. And I think that's starting what's happening. We're kind of taking down these global boundaries between countries. And, the fact that we live in such a digital age is really helping us. But I think just recognizing we are a global community. We are all in this together. Whatever your skin, sex, race, color, sexual orientation, beliefs are, we're all people. We can all die. We're all human. We're all mortal. So the more we realize that and help each other, I think the more we're going to thrive as a society, as a country, as a world. And, the more we fight it, and the more we put up these boundaries and fight, and that's why politics is becoming so toxic, because it's just so divisive towards us. And I think that we can still have our beliefs and we can feel strongly in what we believe, but we got to remember we're in this together. We got to help each other. So just because somebody thinks that, taxes shouldn't go up or they should go up or whatever, you gotta just put that shit aside and just really help each other out. And if you see someone that needs food or needs help or is elderly or maybe not even elderly, just in need, is suffering right now, reach out to them, help them how you can. I've been lucky and I've been blessed, so I've been trying to give back money-wise, as much as I can. And if anybody needs anything out there, reach out to me. If I could do it, I would be glad to help. Now, don't reach out asking for a new car or a new computer or something crazy. If you have no food on your table, or let me know. Let's just help each other. That's what it comes down to.
That's profound words. I couldn't agree more. I do believe there's a lot of time spent by the elites where they're below. It's like a smoke and mirrors game where if they keep us all divisive, like you said, nobody's paying attention. They can run off with all the fucking money. So I mean, it's definitely that kind of game for sure. And if we do what you said, I think we're gonna make it, man. I mean, that's very an uplifting and positive way to think. I wish everybody felt that way.
Thank you.
Question. It's completely crazy. I ask everybody this. So please buckle up. Do you have a good shit your pants story?
Oh, I sure do.
Nice.
Okay,
Thank you. Most people, some people have some really good ones, and some people are just never shit my pants in my life. That's just disgusting. Well, I'm doing it right now. I'm shitting my pants right now.
Me too. When I was in high school, it was like my first day driving to school. I think I just got my license in a car, and I was my stomach was really bad or whatever. So I'm it's rumbling and rumbling. I pull up right in front of high school in my new car. It wasn't a new car, but my car. And I was so proud and so excited. And, I'm so cool. I'm feeling like I am just the shit. And I was like, okay, getting out. And I had to take a V shit, and I guess it was diarrhea. It just came out all over. Literally I pulled out of the spot, just didn't get out of my car, and I just went right back home, and I was humiliated. Nobody saw me, I don't think, but just the fact that I thought I was so cool driving up a new car, and I just shit my pants and had to turn right back around and go home was pretty bad.
Well, I have to say, that's pretty good. You're in the upper echelon of shit your pants. But last but not least, where can we keep up with you on social media? I know you're on Instagram. You're on all kinds of shit, man. Can you give us a rundown of where everybody can keep up on what you're doing here?
I can't even keep up with it because I know I'm supposed to be on TikTok now and this other thing. I'm I'm too old for this, but I would just say follow me on Instagram at Adam Barta. I just hit 10,000 people. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
And people are like, oh, did you buy your followers? I'm like, first of all, if I bought my followers, would I be announcing it, number one? And number two, would it have taken me 18 years to get that followers? They're all real. They're all mine. They're my hard work.
You earned that shit,
Twitter,
man.
I earned it. Twitter at Adam_Barta, because there's at Adam Barta and there's Adam_Barta.
You're also on Facebook, I know.
Facebook, my public thing is Adam Barta official, I think. My page, they started. I think my personal one is maxed out, but just find me and request me everywhere. I accept everyone.
Well, you heard
I'm a Facebook slut. I just add everyone.
Well, you heard that, cats. Everybody follow Adam. Check out what's going on. Look forward to the Tan Mom concert. When is that again?
That is going to be next Friday, our new concert, As You Tan It. Tickets are available. I think Patricia is going to be calling it next week, possibly. So keep an ear out for some updates, some exciting updates, and with the show too.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this, guy. I really appreciate it, Adam. The man.
Yeah, thanks for
Adam Barta.
It's been fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love.